name's Clara. C for chippy, I'd say, wouldn't you, Jenna Louise? Morning.
Good morning.
Cheeky.
Cheeky, yeah, she's very cheeky.
And where has she come from?
The Clara you will meet in the Christmas special is living in Victorian London, working in a pub, also living a bit of a double life as a governess, looking after some children.
Interesting you say the Clara you will meet in the Christmas special.
Yes.
Does that change?
Well, we've already met Oswin in Asylum of the Daleks in September, where I played a souffle baking, opera listening Dalek.
Of course.
Of course.
Yes. And are the two linked in any way?
Basically, it is what is being referred to as a soft mystery, and if anybody's hoping to get any answers...
What mystery?
A soft mystery.
OK.
And something that will be ongoing for quite a while in true Stephen Moffat style. You won't really get any answers in the Christmas special. It will just kind of raise more questions and get more and more complicated
so
and
just guessing.
Fascinating.
Well, it's amazing what you can do through the magic of time and space, isn't
Yes.
it, really? You can turn from a souffle baking Dalek into a Victorian...
Governess. Yep.
Yeah, extraordinary. OK. And there's also said to be, possibly, a little bit of interest.
Go on.
Interest.
What does that mean, Bill?
Maybe, would it be fair to call it love interest between Clara and the Doctor?
I think there is definitely an attraction. There is definitely a flirtation.
There's definitely a moment.
There's definitely a moment, quite a long moment, between the
long
Doctor and
moment?
Clara. A nice long Christmas kiss, which I think we've already released a clip for.
OK.
But basically, the Doctor is very Scrooge-like and down in the dumps and very depressed and kind of bar humbug and lonesome when we meet him. And Clara kind of brings him out of his Scrooge-like state.
Because people who watch regularly will know that he's just come out of a very sad and difficult time. And I guess your job now is to bring him out of that, bring him back to life a little bit. But even the Doctor that we see now is changing, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's been a really interesting process for me and for Matt, how a new companion will change the Doctor and vice versa, and us trying to find our dynamic and how we're going to move forward with the show. But it's been really interesting, like Matt said, the kind of you know, days where we've been discovering things and finding ways in which the Doctor is changing and is different with this new companion.
So there's that relationship between two. And of course, then there are things, people and villains and all sorts that you have to deal with.
We have Richard E. Grant, who plays a fabulous Who villain, and the Snowmen, of course.
That's quite scary.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, that's really, really scary.
Not exactly Raymond Briggs, is it?
They were quite friendly looking at first, so I think a lot of work has gone into making them be as scary as they are today.
And just as you turn up, the TARDIS gets a makeover as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's kind of it's the start for a whole new show. We've got new titles and new music, a new TARDIS, obviously.
Did you write that into your contract, saying I must have all these new things?
All change. Yeah, no.
But it must be quite daunting to come into a show like that that's been going for so many years in a role that so many famous people have played. How did you get it? How did it work for you?
It's quite it is quite a strange thing, actually. I think when you're so used to kind of like just visually seeing, you know, I'm so used to visually seeing Matt as the Doctor everywhere. So it's quite strange to suddenly see yourself in the posters and in the pictures and kind of in the franchise, I suppose. It's taken quite a bit of getting used to. But I mean, in terms of starting on the first day, it just kind of goes so fast. And then suddenly, one minute, you're kind of running down a corridor, so it kind of expels all nerves, and you just run with it.
And was it a case of when you did your other appearance in Doctor Who, they looked at you and thought, oh, she's quite good, let's bring her back?
No, it was something that was actually written whilst I was auditioning, and then Stephen has come up with this brilliant plot, which we have going through the next series as well, which begins with Oswin, and then we have the Christmas Clara, and then we will see what happens.
We hear that you do give your all, though, to the programme, to the extent of sort of slightly losing control, headbutting the camera.
Oh, yeah.
What?
You just end up having so much adrenaline that me and Matt are very clumsy.
So?
So I did headbutt the camera by accident. And end up running down corridors and falling over and tripping over props.
It really is quite a physical role, isn't it?
Yeah, really
She's
physical.
great to see.
It's like kind of you know, it kept me very fit and really does keep you on your toes. But like I say, there really is no other job where it is okay to run down a corridor as fast as you can and running away from monsters all the time. And it kind of, there really isn't another job like it.
Next year, it'll be 50 years since the first episode of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be something special going on for that, do you think?
Yeah, there are really big, huge plans being planned as we speak.
Although when you're a Time Lord, 50 years doesn't mean very much, does it? I suppose.
Well, I think, yeah, 50 years of Doctor Who being on the screens, I think they're going to really go all out.
Some of us can remember the very first
No, we
episode.
can't. Not on this sofa.
One of us can.
No. And what I want to know, though, is Doctor Who has some very keen fans.
Mm-hmm.
There's a core group of Doctor Who fans who will follow the show. How much experience do you have with them?
Not much as of yet. I've literally, we wrapped on the 1st of December and I flew straight out to New York and I've been home about a week. So I kind of haven't had too much contact as of yet. I've got a lot of fan mail, which I will get onto now we've wrapped. Yeah, I've heard a lot about them and I've heard they are the loyalist.
And I know that you've been in Emmerdale before, but do you think this is life-changing for you? Is it career-changing?
Yeah, I think so. In the same way that kind of every job is, it's life-changing in terms of I've moved to Cardiff, which has been a huge change, and you know I'm kind of just going to take the next year in my stride and see what happens with it.
Well, wish you all the very best with it.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for coming.
Jenna Louise, thank you.
Thank you.
And you can see Doctor Who: The Snowman here on BBC One tomorrow, 5:15, not to be confused with the other nice cuddly one.